women I spoke with remember May 20th, 2013 vividly, responding to devastation with what they could, what resources they had. Looking back to just 8 years ago, they have strong emotion and pride for their city.
I'm sitting there watching it grow and magnify.
Just before 3 p.m. on May 20th, 2013, a massive EF5 tornado was on the ground for 39 minutes.
We had members of our own department that lost their entire house and belongings.
Its path 17 miles long and at times 1.3 miles wide, leaving behind a path of widespread destruction.
When you have neighbors who are standing in piles of rubble that used to be their home, and neighbors are propping up neighbors, and people are crying on one another's shoulders and sifting through the debris that used to be their lives. It's really something when you see it that evokes it's such powerful emotions.
Lieutenant Kyle Hill of the Moore Police Department and now Moore Fire Chief Greg Herbster recount their team's response.
And working at the school where we fortunately lost the children, and so it's hard to say how it impacted everyone, but it was a very impactful event, something I'm sure most of us would like to forget.
20 lives were lost, including 7 children who died trying to take shelter at Plaza Towers Elementary.
This time of year just brings about a certain feeling in people, and certainly with May 3rd and May 20th, there's a little bit of anxiousness, a little bit of tension, and it certainly does bring back emotions to the 61 officers who were in this building who worked here during that time.
Both Hill and Herbster tell me resources and support groups are available for first responders following an event like May 20th.
There are 61 different perspectives. There are stories, there are experiences that are very diverse. Some of them harder to tell than others.
It's not one size fits all. Everybody needs something different. So we try to be very aware of that. We take actions to provide help for anybody that needs it. We did bring in groups to visit with, especially all the people that worked at Plaza Towers.
Preparedness mentally and physically is key. Since 2013, the Moore Fire Department added 32 firefighters and a search and rescue dog. The police department also consistently training officers for a potential disaster. Today, this town identifies with an adopted phrase following multiple tragedies.
And that's not just a hashtag or a punchline or something cute to say. The term "more strong" to us is really reflective of a resilience that is uniquely ours, that belongs to Moore, because we have a resilience that is just forged in hardship and tragedy, and the May 20th tornado was certainly no exception.
More strong is a phrase both departments and community here take pride in.
To see how we can rebound and respond to these events compared to anywhere else is just second to none. If you come through Moore after one of these events and just see how we grow and we respond and get back to normal faster than it seems like anybody else, it's a miracle.
Only tragedies like these, when you talk about first responders, sometimes we have a front row seat to very difficult situations, just unspeakable things. But in those tragedies are born triumphs. And I'm sorry. The stories that officers can tell about the way that they've helped people, the lives that were saved, they're really inspirational. And I love this job.
Messages there from our first responders that we heard who were first on scene. And when we talk about first responders, joining me now live is veteran photojournalist, KOCO's Chris Lee. Thank you so much for joining me, Chris. We talk about first responders. You've covered so many severe storms, tornadoes, and we're standing at sacred ground, I would say, here at Plaza Towers Elementary School.
Definitely.
This is very impactful. Please describe why.
Well, when this tornado, 8 years ago, came right through this area here. If you look around, all these homes are new. The school's been rebuilt because this was flattened by that tornado, and there were several children who were killed at this school. Seven children killed at the school, and as a first responder, I know I'm the storm chaser, so I'm not the person out there pulling people out of the rubble, but I know a lot of first responders, and I know the people that do that, they're trying to help people. And when you get to a situation where you can't help people, where you feel like no matter how many people you've pulled out, if you pull somebody out that you can't help, that's the one you remember, and it sticks with you forever. And I know a lot of people that are their lives are just changed by what happened that day.
Moore has been struck with tragedy time and time again with tornadic activity, such multiple different tragedies here. But you've seen firsthand some of the most incredible devastation that has rocked these communities. Can you talk about that day? Can you bring me back to May 20th? Of just 8 years ago.
I mean, tornado days, as you know, you get a fairly large area, so you don't know a town or something that's going to be hit. And we're assigned an area to cover for that day. And I was assigned Southwest Oklahoma City and set up on a hill near 149th and South Penn, and watched the tornado form over by Newcastle, thinking it was going to go well to our north because it was going left to right as it formed, but it turned and came basically right down 149th Street, which is South 19th Street and more, just less than half a mile to our south. So basically came right over this area. I went back and looked at the place where I saw it, and the fence is gone, everything's gone. We would have been wiped out if we'd stayed there. But so we're running ahead of that tornado, trying to warn people of what's going on and let people know, knowing that it's about a mile behind us and doing damage to places like this. And it's very frustrating because you go past. I remember going past another school that was on South 4th Street on the other side of I-35, and the students, it was pickup time at the end of school, and the school buses were all out in the horseshoe area, and parents were all out in their cars lined up out in the street, and kind of a worst case scenario. And everything in you wants to jump out of the car and pound on people's hoods and say, get out of the way, there's a tornado coming. And you realize that's not what I do. I have to stay in front of the tornado. I have to let the people downstream know what's going on and realize that there are other people doing that behind me. Unfortunately, at that school, it did not take a direct hit, but the school people had come out, knew the tornado was coming, and they brought everybody inside the school where they were safe and not outside in the buses or in the cars, because that's, that to me is one of the scariest scenarios when you're out in a car or you have kids out in a car and school buses. What do you do?
Right.
When there's something like that?
And more specifically, Chris, we talk about May 3rd, 1999. We talk about May 20th, 2013. May is severe weather season here in Oklahoma. 2 different events. Although this year seems relatively calm, this is my final question. That can change in an instant. Talk about the importance of the first alert.
Well, yeah, you have to have a plan. You have to know what you're going to do when Damon comes on your TV and says the tornado is coming into your area. You have to have a plan and know what you're going to do, because even though today doesn't appear to be a tornado day and this season, as you said, has been fairly calm, it takes one day. May 3rd of 99, we had somewhere around 60 tornadoes in the state that day. We haven't had 60 tornadoes in the whole month of May this year, or this year for the entire state of Oklahoma. So, it all changes in one day. It all changes in one instant. And what you have to do as a person who lives here is have a plan, know where you're going to go, know if you're in charge of a building that has people in it, know where you're going to have people go that are there. That's very, very important, so that when that warning comes to you, you know what to do.
Great advice. Chris, thank you so much for joining us live and bringing us that first alert. I don't know if you guys know this, but Chris is in the car. He's driving with another photojournalist, keeping us informed and safe, again, with our meteorologist. Today is also a special day here for the Moore community because it's graduation week. And this is the last day of school for these children here at Plaza Towers Elementary School. So while it is solemn and bittersweet, we still honor and reflect upon those lives that were lost that day 8 years ago. We're live in Moore. Christine Stanwood, KOCO 5 News.